Okay, this is my Enviro Windsor. It's actually the model number. The model is actually Windsor pellet stove. I don't actually, have a actual model number up. They just call it a Windsor, Enviro Windsor. We bought that stove probably about 16 years ago, I'd say, something like that. And it's been very reliable, actually. I would say that the only problem we really had was with the exhaust blower motor. This guy right here. And it seems like I've always had a problem with the bearing. It's not like it wouldn't run anymore or anything like that, but it just got extremely noisy. Okay, in fact you can hear it when it's laying on the stand here. Yeah. And when it's actually running inside the stove, because it's mounted to metal, it gets pretty noisy. So I don't know, I replaced the bearings in that blower quite a few times. And in fact, here's the bearings. That's what it looks like. Right there. It's almost like a vacuum cleaner bearing type thing. And I've had marginal success with it. Sometimes I can put them in, it's nice and quiet for a while, and then again it's noise right from the start. So I don't know, I finally got to a point where it says I'm not going to even mess with this anymore. I'm going to see about getting a new blower for it. So I got on eBay and I found a guy that was selling these blowers. And it was a pretty good price. I was happy. Anyway, the beauty part of it was that the new blower is actually mounted in rubber. The old one's not. As a matter of fact, if you look at this, the mounting ears, it's just metal to metal right here. And that's one of the reasons why it was so noisy. Well, the new ones are mounted in rubber, and I'm going to tell you, it made a heck of a big difference. Okay, now about the stove. It's in excellent condition, really. It really is very good. This is all cast iron, okay? No sheet metal. It's all cast, okay? Everything. It's very well built. It's heavy, all right? Inside, this door is not cast. This is heavy. This is a heavy steel, but anyway, everything inside here is cast except the burn pot and other components in here. It's all, everything is cast. On the bottom is all cast. Everything. It has these exchanger tubes up in here. Okay, so when you got a fire going, the heat rises past these tubes, to the exhaust blower. Okay, and then the blower turns on after it gets up to the temperature. Then the blower turns on, another blower, a squirrel cage blower inside, and it blows the heat out these tubes here. Okay, and depending on how high you have it set, it's the more heat you get. I had no problems with the stove, none whatsoever, except for that blower motor. This stove right now is in very good condition. In fact, because of that blower motor, I would say it's probably better than it was when it was new. This is the hopper where the pellets go. All right, and there are some pellets in there right now. It's about maybe 3/4 of the way full, 2/3. Okay, and right now I've been actually having better luck with softwood pellets, and that's what these are. This hopper holds 40 pounds. In other words, exactly one bag. It's exactly one bag. It just basically almost fills this thing right up to the top. It's direct vent. It uses B vent. Okay. You have to excuse my mess back there, but anyway, that uses B vent. Now, the only thing I can't understand about the stove, I never could figure it out since the day I've owned it. It has another right here. You'll notice that there's a tube here. Okay, and that tube is supposed to be for taking in air from the outside for combustion. And that tube goes into this sheet metal shroud back here, this cover, and it just, that's it. That's all it does. It doesn't do anything else. So I can't understand what the point is even having it. So I never bothered to hook it up. Okay, and I don't really think it makes that much of a difference anyway, to be honest with you. So if you get the stove and if you want to play with that, well, fine. But I cannot understand the logic of even having it on there. The controls are on the side here. If I were to push this button right here, that would start it. In fact, I can, well, I'm going to put some pellets in here. I'm going to start a fire. And then I'm going to explain further exactly how all these controls work. You get a good view of it. I'm not going to lie to you about this stove. It's in very good condition. You ask me why I'm getting rid of it. Well, it's not that I don't like it, but I'm not getting any younger, you know, and to me, I don't know, getting the pellets and stuff to me is just like a hassle. You know, and the people that are supplying them around here, they just, for some reason, they cannot seem to get the pellets that I like, and they want too much for them. You know, so that's basically the reason why I want to get rid of it. Other than that, I like it, really. It's very, you know, it's pretty when it's running and everything, and I like it a lot. I got a lot of compliments on it. Well, so I'm replacing this with a gas freestanding stove. So that's me, you know. Okay, I'm gonna start a fire in this. I'll show you, you know, how it basic functions. Okay, now to get a fire started in this, it's very simple. Of course, once you got it loaded up with pellets, you know, and of course you want to clean this thing out once in a while, you know, get the ashes out of it and stuff, and make sure that those tubes I explained before up on the top are clean. Oh yeah, that's another thing I wanted to explain too. There's a I didn't know why they didn't put a knob on here. You know, I never could understand that. But anyway, there's a rod here, and basically what that does, it runs a scraper along those tubes, okay, to clean the ashes off of them. All right, and it can be a little stubborn sometimes. Okay, all right. In fact, I'll show you inside exactly what it does. There's that scraper right back there. It goes over those tubes. That's how it does. It scrapes the ashes off those tubes. Now to start the stove up, all you have to do is push this button. That's it, and she starts. Okay, now what's going to happen now, the auger is going to start feeding pellets into the burn pot. But I see it's got electric ignition. There's a heat coil. There's a heating coil that comes down inside there. Okay, now pretty soon you're going to see the pellets drop. You know, when you first start it up, it's kind of, there they go. When it first started up, it's kind of like a fixed rate, you know, how fast the pellets come in. But once the stove starts, and then it starts going into the way you have it set. And the higher you have it set, of course, the more pellets go into the burn pot. Now I found out from experience that anything above the second highest level to me is kind of redundant. If you go to third and fourth level, it's an awfully big flame. And I don't know if, yeah, you can play with it, but I don't know. I found out that actually going past 2 to me is kind of a waste of time. I don't know. It just seems like most of the heat's going off the pipe. I think this is rated at, I think 80% efficiency, I think, or something. I'd have to look in the book. But anyway, it's a pellet stove, you know. It uses beef, and I think they pretty much all run at the same efficiency. I don't think there's much of a difference there. So, well, this is going to run for a while now, and then when it gets started, I'll start this video up again, and I'll show you how the controls work. Okay, now it's starting to smoke, so any second now we should get ignition. And this is about maybe 8 minutes since I turned it on. I got the door open right now, so you can see it. So you can see it better. Yep, there she goes. Okay. Now that it's started, after it runs for a while, things will start to heat up, and then the convector blower will start to. Well, actually, the convector blower is already running, but the circulating blower, the inside blower, that'll start pretty soon. It gets up to a certain temperature. I think it's 160 degrees. Okay. It'll take a few minutes, and then that secondary blower will start running. Now you'll notice that flame is pretty high. That's because the burn pot got a lot of pellets in it, you know, before ignition occurred. Okay, now the internal blower just started running. So now, what you're hearing right now, you know, I don't know, probably maybe on the video, it might seem like it's a lot louder than it actually is. It's actually when you're inside the room, when you're watching TV or something like that, it really is not distracting. I mean, you can talk to other people and stuff like that, and you don't even notice that it's running, actually. So the noise is really not that big of an issue. Now, I want to show you, I got a thermostat on this, okay? It's hidden behind my ficus tree here. Alright, I got a thermostat here, okay, for that stove. And right now it says 69 degrees. Alright, so at that temperature, that means it's going to be running at whatever setting you have, whatever you have it set at. Whatever level you have it set at. Let's see what I mean by that. On the side here, you'll notice right here, the second light's on. That's because I have it set at the second level. You go up 3, 4, 5. That's maximum. That's the maximum level that you can set it at. All right, and that, to me, that's a crazy high level. 1, that's the bottom level. That's the lowest possible setting. Now I got it set on 2. Now what's going to happen when the thermostat no longer calls for heat? It'll drop back down to the down to the lowest level. All right. So the flame will just kind of like sit there, kind of like idle at a low speed, and then when it calls for heat again, it'll come back up to 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever you happen to have it set at. Okay. Some of these controls I don't even use. I never played with them. This one here is the auger feed. You can actually set the speed at which the auger will feed. You can hold it in. It'll just keep on feeding as long as you're holding it in. Whenever you see this light turn on, right there. Whenever you see that light turn on, that means that the auger is feeding at that particular time. Okay. You're going to get the book with this thing, you know, so you can read through that to find out, you know, everything that this does. No. This button right here I never use. Okay. If you push that, that'll turn off the secondary blower. And when you do that, that means right now the unit is heating up with no blower. But when it gets up to 160 degrees, the blower will turn on at high speed and cool the stove back down again. I never use that. I think it's better just to leave it on all the time. Okay. Auger trim. I have to actually look at the book. Hang on. Okay, that auger trim. The auger trim button is used to increase or decrease the feed rate on low only. Push the auger trim button until number 1 and 5 lights appear on the heat level indicator. This will increase the feed rate to 4 seconds on time auger pulse. This is done only to on low to allow the burning of poor quality fuels. Push the button until the number 1 and 4 lights appear. This will reduce the auger on time to 2 seconds. Okay. This setting is for high grade fuel only. Push the button until just the number 1 light is on. This is for a 3-second on time. And that's a standard setting. Okay. You know, that's kind of interesting. You know, I probably could have used that because that's something I never really had to play with because I never had a problem with it really. But this last batch of fuel I got, I'm not very happy with. It's a soft wood pellet, which I do like, but it's made by a company called Index, and I never really had luck with them. I used to buy hardwood pellets, which were fine, and they had Index, but I don't know. They just didn't seem to put out the heat like they should. The pellets here that I've been using, the fire would go out. All right, in the middle of the night, the fire's out. You know, while the stove is not calling, when the thermostat's not calling for heat, and the stove returns to a low setting, the fire would go out. That's kind of frustrating. So apparently that auger trim that I was showing you back there will actually compensate for that. You can actually set it up a little bit higher so that the fire doesn't go out. But if you use a quality pellet, you shouldn't have that problem. This is the first year I've had a problem like that, because I could not get the pellets that I normally get. I get pellets normally called Danos, I believe it's pronounced, and they're made right here in Wisconsin. Trying to think of name. I'm trying to think of the name of the town right now. I can't think of it. It's about 30. They're about 30 miles from here. About 40 miles from here. But anyway, yeah, I've always had very good luck with those pellets. If you can get, and like I say, I like the softwood pellets better than the hardwood because it seems like they burn cleaner and they put out more heat. Okay, but that's something you experiment with. So, if you ever had experience with pellet stoves before, I'm not really teaching you anything, because I think they pretty much all work basically the same way. Okay, good luck. If you get this stove, I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Bye. Okay, there are some other things I wanted to say about the stove that I didn't mention in the video. Like I said, it is very heavy because it is all cast iron. Okay. However, there is a way of making it a little bit lighter. First of all, I just wanted to mention the fact that these doors open. Okay, so you have a full view of the fire, and they lift off very easily. Just like that. And that's probably, I don't know, 15 pounds total between the two of them, I guess. I don't know, 20. This door. This door also has 2 pins in here that come out. Oh, I have to, okay, to get the top pin off, what I have to do first, I have to take the top off. This is probably 10 pounds. And the top blows off, and that's probably like about 40 or 50 pounds right there. And the door. I'll take up this top pin. Just like that. And I would say, I don't know, probably, without doing, you know, without doing any fancy math, I would say it's probably at least maybe 100 pounds I just took off the way to the stove. So it'll make it quite a bit easier to transport. Okay, I guess that's about it. Alright, good. Thanks for watching.